arkadaş Suudi Arabistan meşhur ve yönetimin yakınında. Zaten şeyde gönderdiğinde kralla birlikte fotoğraflarını gönderiyor. Bu ülkesinde çok ünlü bir avukat, yazar. Şimdi çalışma yapmış. O çalışma sözü şu, diyor ki bu uluslararası hukuka, bu devletlerin egemenlik ilkesine aykırı olduğu gibi uluslararası hukukun devletlere tanımış olduğu kulların hakları kullanmaya, Birleşmiş Milletler Sözleşmesi'ne, efendime söyleyeyim, uluslararası hukukun uygulanmasına, ticaretin gelişmesine, iktisadın kalkınmasına, refah devletine vurmuş bir darbedir. Çünkü eğer diyor bu böyle bir kanun altında olan bir devlete, devletin tabileri, yani vatandaşları itaat etmezler, kurallarını tanımazlar. Sen zaten problemi üzerindesin. O devlete dışarıdan yatırım gelmez, hatta içerideki vatandaş da gelmez. Madem benim devletim terörle işbirliği yapıyor, yarın öbür gün bunlar gider diye yatırımdan kaçar, uzun dönemli yatırımdan kaçar. Yok. O ülkede istikrar olmaz. Devletin egemenlik haklarına saldırıdır. Küçük devletlerin bunlara mukabele etme şansı da yoktur. Amerika'ya kim? Hangi devlet, küçük devlet mukabele edecek? Ondan sonra o devletin onurunu kıracak şekildeki bu husus, Birleşik Devletler'in sopa ve havuç siyasetinin bir sonucudur. Bu devletlerin egemenlik ilkesinin kaldırılmasıdır. Bütün uluslararası hukuk kuruluşları, siyasi kuruluşlar, hükümetler ve sivil toplum kuruluşlarının bunlara dikkat ederek bu konuda yekbus olmaları hususunu tavsiye ediyorum dedi. Biz de kendisine teşekkür ettik. Şimdi bu konudaki bu Jasta çalışmaları konusunda iyi çalışan arkadaşlarımızdan Doktor Ali Emrah Bozbayındır şimdi söyleyecek. Now, Dr. Ali Emrah Bozbayındır is one of the lecturers of Sabahat Zaim University and the Law Faculty. What is the Jasta law? Behind it, what is the concept of this law behind it? And also, is there any act in the United States far from this act? Inshallah, he will give us some information about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rafik, for your invitation. A lot has been already said about this act, but I'll repeat some aspects of this act in order to make ground for my discussion regarding the possible actions can be taken by the Saudis against this act. So far, a lot has been said about the act itself and its political reactions against it, but what can be done legally should be our perspective.
It would be much beneficial.
Yes, this is my focus, and we have an example of Iran before us. Against this state, United States has taken similar action.
When it was.
Yes.
Not now.
And the United States Justice Act is an interesting piece of legislation. It has become still cause of controversy. And it is a not entirely new law. It is an extension of an existing law, the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act. What is the extension to be made by this Jasta? The extension is the removal of the requirement of formal designation of foreign states as sponsor of terrorism. In the law before Jasta, there was a formal designation requirement by the States Department. Was necessary. But now, it's possible to sue any foreign country in the United States without having a formal designation. The Secretary of State before has designated 4 states as sponsors of terrorism, so namely Cuba, Iran, Sudan, and Syria. All these countries are still on that list, excluding Cuba. Now it's possible to sue any citizen, to sue any foreign state. This is clearly put by Obama himself. He said this act removed sovereign immunity in U.S. courts from foreign governments that are not designed state-sponsored of terrorism. And he further noted that this legislation would permit litigation against countries that have neither been designated by the executive branch as the state sponsors of terrorism, nor taken direct actions in the United States to carry out any attack here. The result of Jasta will most probably be, if one considers the structural elements of U.S. courts, in the words of Obama, strip all foreign governments of immunity from judicial process in the United States, based solely upon allegations by private litigants. It is important. In the United States, there is a culture of tort, and everybody sues everyone, and there are enormous amounts of compensation. This is different than our nations. There is a tort liability based on punitive damages. It also punishes people, not only compensating the damages. I don't want to repeat the other speakers about the violation of international law by Jasta. It is a violation of international law, but who cares? The Jasta creates a threat to become an international legal Pandora's box, and it will invite retaliation by countries around the world. For instance, in the words of Michael Mukasey, Turkey would sue the United States for its force for Kurds or Afghanistan. Okay, international law against international law. Well, it's nice, but if you look at the example of Iran, the terrorism exception was already considered to be contrary to customary law and still an isolated practice among other states, excluding Canada and Italy. In the world, United States, Canada, and Italy supporting this approach, removing sovereign immunity. The case of Iran is indeed a remarkable example. It tells us a lot regarding the possible venture of the Jasta. What will happen with Jasta as a result of Jasta? By 2016, for instance, awards granted against Iran by the U.S. courts amounted to more than $56 billion US. $56 billion US already awarded against Iran in the U.S. court. What was the cause of this case? 1986 bombing of American soldiers by Hezbollah. 250 victims. Imagine September 11. How many billion to hundreds of billions of dollars can be awarded against Saudi Arabia? In a very recent judgment in Bank Markazi, this is the central bank of Iran, versus Peterson, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that a 2012 bill allowed 1,000 families to access the Iranian funds in the U.S. banks, which means the United States confiscated money at the central bank of Iran in the United States. And it removed the immunity of central banks. This state of affairs has led to a lawsuit by Iran against the United States in the International Court of Justice in 2006, June. This year, Iran sued for a similar law, for a similar violation, United States government before the International Court of Justice. This is a very important element. Iran, among others, argued that Iran and Iranian state-owned companies are entitled to immunity from the jurisdiction of the United States courts and in respect of enforcement proceedings in the United States, and that such immunity must be respected by the United States to the extent that established as a matter of custom international law and required by the Treaty of Amity between Iran and the United States. Iran took another action which can be considered by the Saudis as well, but we need to discuss this. Iran has passed a legislation allowing Iranians civil suits against the United States for the acts of the United States in Iran since 1963. This new law of Iran is a reaction against highway robbery of the United States But if the states adopt such laws, it may change international law. This can be also a trap for us. If you start to adopt removing United States in Saudi courts, in Turkish courts, which means that you are changing international law as well. This may be a trick, and which needs to be carefully considered. It would therefore be wise to withhold the principle of sovereign immunity instead of reacting which would erode the principle of immunity in our national courts. It is further also advisable to the states, such as Saudi Arabia, as soon as possible, before it confiscated, withdraw your assets from the United States. Saudi assets in the United States are currently amount to 750 billion US dollars. And I think if this case, the first case that opened before the United States courts, they will get confiscate